gone quick, innit?
Very, very quick, bro. Very, very quick.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What are you saying, Rob? You good?
Do you know, I just realised, what's the date? Oh, well, let's not mention the date, but, we've got like 3.5
months, innit?
till Christmas.
Yeah.
And 2023.
Bro,
Hey,
telling you,
listen,
man.
there's no time to waste,
No time to waste.
So I'm just letting you know now, if you've got any goals and targets and aspirations, right, like, you need to just stop messing about and make it happen now,
Telling you.
Wow. It's been a good year, though. It's been an interesting year. A year of change.
Very much, innit?
Yeah, mad.
But what are you saying, though?
Yeah, everything's good, I'm looking forward to a lot of things. A lot of new starts, a lot of new transition, man. But yeah, people, another episode
of the social worker and the mentor.
Yeah. Nana's had his tea and biscuits and everything because he was
the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah, he went in and
I know I was on a mad one. I know.
Yeah, but no, you know what? But he needed to, and I think like I like someone who's passionate. Especially someone who's got a passion and someone who cares about something. And like when you're in a job, or when you're a professional, it's not always about the money.
No, it's not.
It's about a passion to make change
and to do better.
Do you know what I mean, right? Yeah. So, it was for me, it was a necessity.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I needed. I thought I needed to in the last episode, innit?
Yeah,
I really needed to kind of be passionate and just give experiences, innit?
100%, man.
But before we go in, guys, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, follow, share. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Where else are we on? Spotify as well.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Look. Is that you pressing?
Yeah, the noise, isn't it? Yeah.
Wait, are you pressing?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
I heard that, bro. I heard that.
Appreciate it,
I heard
man.
that.
Yeah. Press. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. But how is everyone? How's lunch? How's dinner?
Breakfast.
Are you at the gym now? Are you training? You're in your car?
Are you listening to the social worker and the mentor?
To the social worker and the mentor?
Telling you, man.
Yeah, I hope you are, And listen, one of the things that we're going to promise you, we're going to keep providing you with fantastic, great
We're going to be, do you know what? I mean,
feeding you.
We know, guys, some of the comments we've had in terms of, when's the next episode? So, Rob, we're going to be releasing a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more frequently. Do you know what I mean? That's what me and Rob are going to do. So, we promise it's going to be a lot more frequent. Listen, we got so much in the pipeline. So much in the pipeline, honestly, yeah. So, it's going to be wicked, honestly. It's wicked. Trust me.
Yeah. But, bro, all right, so this is another episode, and we touched briefly on this topic during one of our past episodes, but not fully in depth.
Yeah.
Actually, this topic of conversation was actually on GMTV. I don't know whether you watch GMTV.
Yeah.
And the cost of living, it's 2022, and literally since summer or just before summer, I would say April, May, the cost of living crisis is absolutely gone to another level in the most negative way. And bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I've got friends, I've got family, I've got colleagues, families I work with, parents, young people, and bro, they are struggling. Yeah, they are struggling, and the government's under pressure. Charities are under so much pressure right now.
Yeah.
Food banks are busy. Their referrals have quadrupled now. Yeah, because things are bad.
I want to ask you.
Yeah, go on.
Education perspective.
Yeah.
What is the pressure on the sector now? So in terms of your job role, how is it, Rob, the cost of living?
Yeah.
How's it affecting your caseload?
All right. So I'm going to generalize it, okay?
Yeah.
Right. So we've just had the 6 weeks holiday. Mm-hmm. It's the worst time for a single parent mother. It's the worst time. Because that's 6 weeks of providing food. Yeah. Now, there are a lot of large families in London. Yeah. I'm not going to just mention one borough, but there's a lot of large families, and generally most families consist of 3 to 4 children under the age of 16, right? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Could be 2 boys, 2 girls, or 2 girls and 1 boy, or it could be I don't know, 4, a family of 5 where it's mum and the 4 children. Now, bro, if you've got 3 or 4 children and you've got boys, and you know how these boys are now, these boys they yam like they're big men.
They're
just yamming out the foods, right? Yeah. Now, if you've got 3 children and they're off school for 6.5 weeks, do you know how much food that mother's got to buy? Now, mum may not be working. A lot of the caseload that I saw that deal with, either working part-time or they're on benefit. But most of them are on benefit. Okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Some are working part-time. Some are actually doing fantastic jobs and actually working full-time jobs. And they're trying to do like mummy and daddy role. But parents are suffering, bruv.
Yeah.
Parents are telling me, what am I going to do? I can't afford it, right? They feel ashamed, right, yeah? Going to food banks. They go to the food bank wearing the mask. As you know, we don't really need to wear the mask anymore.
Yeah.
But they go to the food bank wearing the mask because they don't want to be seen by anyone from the area
or who they may know,
feeling shame, whatever, whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's how bad it's got now. Now, the thing is and everything, yeah, is it due to COVID why we're now suffering now, or is it just society and the things are just going? It's just a crazy time right now. But one thing I do know, bruv, they need more help and they're struggling, right? Yeah, and poverty and famine, which I know normally happens in, other countries in the world, right, yeah, is now beginning literally to happen in the UK now, and also in London now, right, yeah. But it's rough right now, bruv. It's rough. Children are self-harming because of not having enough food. Children are running away from home because of not having enough food.
Yep.
Crime, shoplifting has risen over the last 2 months.
Yep.
Did you hear what I said to you?
Yep.
Shoplifting has risen in the last 2 months because people can afford to go and buy sausages, 8 sausages for £5.95, yeah? Or certain drink that used to cost like 69p has gone up to like £1.25. And you may be thinking, right, it's only gone up 35 pence. But if you've got 3 or 4 children in your house and everything, right, yeah, or maybe even more than that, it doubles, it quadruples.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what I mean, right, yeah? So, bruv, it's not just food. It's electric. It's gas.
All the utilities.
It's clothing.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Petrol.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Bro, and what it is as well, yeah, is that people are in job roles where they're not getting pay rises as well, right, yeah? So it's tough right now, but bruv, it's having a very negative impact on families and young people, yeah?
Yeah.
It's causing depression, self-harm,
bruv, keep talking your
mental health is just...
Thank you.
They're self-harming now, yeah? They are like, what am I going to do? They're actually telling me, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, right, yeah? Now, part of me is like, okay, what can the government do? Are the government actually doing enough? I watch all these programs like, I like to watch GMTV this morning and everything, right, yeah? And they talk about, the cost of living and what can be done. And to be fair, there are a lot of guests that come on these programs and talk about we need to do more, because we do need to do more.
Yeah, we do.
Now, in education and in local authority, one thing I love about local authority, right, yeah? One thing I will always big up local authority, they will do their utmost to help their parents.
Yeah.
They will provide food vouchers or suggest food banks or, refer them to like early years or social care where a social worker, to a degree, will try and help out with food, whatever, whatnot. But the cost of living, bruv, is a concern right now, right, yeah? And it's a concern in terms of mental health and well-being and fitness, right, yeah? And your mindset. Just I'm coming from everything now, yeah? There's young children that go to special schools, okay, right, yeah? So remember, you've got special schools, you've got and you've got mainstream schools, right, yeah? And you've got them children that go to school, and they get more food at the school more than they do at home. Yeah? And then they're asking for more. Do you know what I mean? Or they're eating the food fast, and you're thinking, right, why is this child eating so fast? But it's because he's not getting enough food at home.
Because parents are struggling.
They're struggling. It's really bad right now, bro. No, it's really, really bad. So It's concerning. It's concerning. It's not just concerning for families we work with. It's concerning as a whole. Do you know what I mean?
It is. Yeah? I mean, I think for me, because I can also talk about impact on social care. Now, the cost of living crisis, I think for me, is very, very dangerous. And I think the impact on social care services, adults and children, is massive. The referral rate I've seen has increased dramatically because families are struggling. Now, you mentioned about poverty. Yeah. That has an overlap into the neglect. Not because parents are neglecting their children, but because the impact of finances. Yeah. In one of the previous episodes, you spoke about how, you know, the cost of living is the mental health, more pressure on parents, more pressure on teenagers and children. So if they're not getting the basic stuff at home, they're going to look for it outside. That means it then becomes a safeguarding issue. There's a lot of problems, bruv, with where we are right now. I think the government are trying to put forward a package where they can support families and local authorities, but I think the government actually do need to do a lot more, because let me tell you, right now the pressure's going to be on, particularly now that it's winter. The pressure's going to be on education and health and also social care to do what we can to try and actually support the families that we're working with. It means that we're going to have an increased caseload for social workers in education. It means that resources are going to be stretched. There's going to be longer queues. It also means that there's going to be children, and also families who are going to be destitute. And what it is that I think local authorities are going to struggle in terms of keeping up. Now, I know in one of the previous episodes that we mentioned, it's about staff turnover and social workers leaving. The public sector now is under pressure. You have more social workers now who are leaving. That means you're going to have more families and more children who are unallocated, who can't get support. Now, remember, people, and this is where legislation comes in. You're going to have more children coming under Section 17 of the Children Act. Children in need. Children in need of services to support them. Now, local authorities, we do work with charities, you know, social workers make referrals to charities, you know, but also as a manager, what it may mean is that it might mean that social workers may come to me and say, Nana, you know what, we need to see if we can provide subsistence, if we can approve some money for families. Now, that's for all families that we're working with. So I'm saying to you. So budgets are going to be overstretched. Yeah. So I'm saying to you. And I just think for me, Rob, we are getting to a very much a difficult time. No, it's difficult. I don't know how we're going to get out of it. It will also mean, bruv, that you're going to have more child protection cases. Yeah. Because even if parents are not willfully neglecting their children, because of financial hardship, that correlation overlap, that crossover is going to get very, very much closer. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So social workers now have to start being a lot more creative in terms of when we're actually working with families, if the issue is not to do with parenting, if it's to do with the cost of living crisis, our assessments have to be a lot more dynamic. It can't just be straightforward. Parents might even self-refer. And that's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of parents who are going to self-refer children to children's services and say that we are actually struggling. And you're right, bruv. It's very, 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 very difficult. The reason why I'm more worried is because you mentioned about crime. Crime is going to start to increase.
It's already increasing. Yeah,
but it's going to go even further than what it's going to go right now. Yeah. So I'm saying to you, it's going to go even further. I also worry about the impact on children in care. Yeah. How it's going to impact upon them. You know, I also worry about the health sector as well. In terms of how they're going to be able to manage and how they're going to be able to cope. And the most important thing for me, what if local authorities can't cope? Yeah. What do the government do?
Let me tell you something, brother. Yeah, you've actually made some great points. And all right, I used to work in the SEN school. Yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, and so let's say like, all right, so yeah, so I used to work in the SEN school, and a lot of the young people were from hard to reach. They were all hard to reach families. Okay, yeah. Most of the parents, 80% of them was on benefit. Okay, all right. So they've already got no money. Okay, all right. Now, this is going back 6-7 years now. Okay, all right, yeah. So at that time, yeah, you've got parents where they're bringing their children with holes in their trousers, or they're wearing a coat that's too small, or the uniform stinks, or broken laces, or they can't get a haircut, whatever, whatnot. And what would tend to happen is that the school became more than just a school.
Yeah.
The school was becoming like a parent, and the teachers and the teaching assistants would become like the young people's mum and dad.
Corporate parents.
So it's almost like the teachers and the teaching assistants are nurturing the children in terms of, okay, we're going to make sure that you have a bath, that your clothes are clean. Because there was a washing machine in the school, right, yeah?
Yeah, my school had that. I remember that, yeah.
There was also a room as well where there's like spare, like, and obviously we get it from charity or from parents.
Yeah.
There were like coats in there or trousers, whatever, whatnot.
Allowing children to use showers.
Right, things like that as well.
Yeah.
And there are more and more schools, well, SCN schools, specialist schools that are doing that, and some pros as well, right, yeah? And it just shows you that schools are trying. But one thing that you said just now, it is getting to the point that the schools have their hands tied.
They do.
Bro, they're under pressure. Now, one of the things that I actually want to discuss in another episode with Nana as well, is teachers. Because teachers, just like a social worker, probably have even more of a wider range of turnovers, and also in terms of caseload as well. You got some teachers, right? Yeah,
they're going to be stretched.
No, listen,
even more.
But listen, there was an article that I read, and this isn't just an article. This is actually factual, right?
Yeah.
Teachers who teach, right? Yeah. So let's say you have a teacher that's a trained teacher now, and it's her first year. She's probably going to leave her job, bro, in 2 years' time, or maybe in a year's time, because of the pressure of the caseload, right? They are teaching classes of 30 young people, yeah? They might have 6 or 7 classes a day, right, yeah? You've got to prepare your lesson planners, you've got to do marking when you get home. Also as well, you have hard to reach pupils in your class.
Yeah.
There might be a safeguarding issue with a young person. What time does a teacher have to even really dig into helping specific students? Because she's got so much marking, and she's got like a massive caseload as well.
Yeah.
Right, yeah? So teachers and social workers, they're actually on the same par, right, yeah? They have the same issues, they have the same pressures as each other on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it's hard, bro. And what I worry about as well, it's the mental fatigue and the mental well-being of a social worker and a teacher to be able to like
deal with this current crisis.
Because it's difficult, bro, right? Yeah, do you understand where I'm coming from? Right?
It is difficult.
I'm going to be honest with you, right? Yeah. So this is about a year ago. I done a home visit, and this young person, his hygiene was awful, right? And one thing about me, I like to have a lot of banter and joke with the young people, whatnot. Sometimes my banter will, I might identify a situation and say, like you need to wash it now, right? Yeah. Or, do you know what? Yeah, I was in Boots today and I thought of you, and I'll give them like a deodorant.
Yeah.
And then I say, Robert, like, what are you trying to say? Yeah, come use it, man. You're a young man now. You have to step someone nice, right? Yeah. So I'll bust like a little banter and like a little joke to make them feel comfortable. But if 3 or 4 months has gone by and I see Timmy wearing the same shirt with the same stain from 3 weeks ago, I'm like, nah, Timmy, what's going on?
Yeah.
Timmy, what's going on? Did you bath last night? And bruv, one thing about me, I'm very direct with these young people. Yeah. Now, yes, it's not always good to be direct. Yes, you have to have empathy, and there's a way to articulate the situation. Yeah, but especially with these boys now. Yeah, when you get to 13 or 14, it's a necessity, and I expect you to know about hygiene, cleaning, and taking care of yourself. Yeah. Now, but guess what? My mum can't afford deodorant. Or
that's what I was going to say to you, bro, because I think right now with the cost of living crisis, and I think this is where you made an excellent point. As professionals working in the cost of living crisis, when we're working with families, we have to go in with a context now. So when I mentioned earlier about neglect cases and all these sorts of things there, schools might make a referral and go and say that they've got concerns about this young person or these children, the fact that they're always coming in hungry, or the fact that their presentation is quite poor. Yeah, and that schools might have that concern. But we're in a cost of living crisis now.
Yeah.
We have to be thinking, okay, fine, but there's a crisis right now. What is going on behind it? Is it that mum is not feeding her children? Or is it actually, you know what? Circumstances and finances have changed because of cost of living.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? As professionals right now, we can't go in with a heavy hand on every single neglect case, because I think right now, the cost of living, what I said earlier, the correlation between poverty, and the lack of finances, that is going to contribute to more child in need and child protection cases. It's a fact. That's going to happen across all local authorities. We have to be creative, but also understand what parents are going through, because also as children's services, we can't go in trying to cause a lot more damage already. We have to be in this crisis right now, we've got to be social workers, but we got to try and support parents where we can. If parents are struggling, and it means that Timmy's coming in and he's wearing the same shirt, but maybe the same shirt that maybe 2 or 3 years ago when mum could go to Asda George and get 2 or 3 shirts, and now she can't, or the washing machine's not working. Because, bruv, I remember one time I did a home visit in the winter time, and a parent was struggling so bad. I did a home visit, in pitch black, and I had to use my lighter. It was like this. I had to use my lighter, my phone like this, like that. That's what's gonna happen, bruv.
No, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
I won't be surprised if social workers are going to family homes in the winter, and doing home visits in the dark, because I did that. So I'm just trying to say that I think the government need to wake up to the fact that the pressures that we're going to be dealing with, this is the reality. But also for social workers and education professionals, that if you're seeing these issues that are coming up and it is neglect, that you have to be asking parents where they are struggling. Do you know what to say to you?
And you know, you're so right, because I think one thing about me, I'm very much an advocate for parents, right? I don't play. Right? See me, I want that parent to get what's due to them. Right, and I tell you what it is, the word empathy needs to be used right now.
Absolutely.
I don't care whether you're a social worker, you're education professional,
or you work in housing. We got to talk about that on another episode.
It doesn't matter. The word empathy needs to be used right now. Because we need to make sure, for me, it is a necessity, and it is our duty of care to make sure that these parents are supported. And as you said just now, right, you know, some of the families I work with, mum, are you struggling? I don't care. Like, see me, I don't care. Mum, are you struggling?
You need to ask a question.
Right, Now, professionals, you know, you may not have my tact or approach, right, and obviously, you know, depending on, you know, the type of parent I'm working with, or culturally, whatever, whatnot, you know, I would adapt and everything,
Of course.
But for me, there's no time to mess about. It's a necessity. You ask that parent, mum, dad, are you struggling? Do you need more support? Food, budgeting. I work with specific young people, right, and they're on benefit. And they get £220 a month. So, oh, Robert, I'm not earning enough money. Well, listen, you got to learn to, like, budget, because you do. Like, and part of being young as well is about adapting, and, you know, struggling is not nice, but struggling is a necessity for growth, right, Like,
it is,
and to have a better, like, money management, whatever, whatnot. But, bro, you've also got some families who are on maybe £300 a month or £400 a month, and they've got to feed them and their 3 children or 4 children. But with £300-400, it's not easy for that to stretch, you know?
Bruv, it's not easy. And, bruv, you know what? The cost of living, I'm going to even go even wider. Because as well as the families, we got to look at the professionals. Because, bruv, there's professionals, there's social workers, there's teachers who, they're struggling. Bruv, their salary, they're struggling. So, bruv, even some
of my agency, you know?
Bruv, thank you. That's why a lot of go into. And bruv, it's like, some social workers, they're not able to get in to work. Like, all these things, it all correlates. And it all overflows within each other. Do you know what I'm saying to you? It's a very, very difficult situation that we're in. And I think for me, my only message to us within social care and education or any other departments is that I think when we are working with families, I know it sounds silly, but we've got to take a bit more of a common sense approach. We have to look at cases.
100%, yeah.
We have to look at cases a lot more differently. I'm not saying that we don't do what we do, but as you said, if parents are struggling, if we're seeing, okay, there's neglect, we need to actually ask parents and say, okay, look, we need to ask you, are you struggling? What are you struggling with? Because sometimes it might not be you refer to social care, because children's services, we're not always, in this scenario, cost of living, we're not always the answer. Sometimes, like, mum and dad, are you struggling? What are you struggling with? How is it we can support you?
Yeah.
Okay, look, you know what? We may not support you, but we think maybe children's services can support you. You know, let's go and seek advice. Do you know what I'm saying, bruv? That's what I kind of think. That's how I think that how we have to operate. Because, bruv, it's a big issue.
You have to, man. Like, it should be, do you know, it should be a standard part of your daily job role where, you know, and do you know, right, even if they're not struggling, just ask. You ask them.
Yeah, you need to ask.
Like, just ask. Because as I said before, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, right, yeah? For me, even, I don't care if you're working full-time, I don't care if you're social, I don't care what sector you're working in, everybody is being affected, right, yeah? You know,
everybody.
We're spending more money, right? We're doubling our, like, I remember when I was younger, bro, right, yeah? Like, do you remember £50 used to get
you far?
You know what I mean? Go Sainsbury's now. But listen, that's another thing as well, right? Yeah. And I think this is advice that I would give to, like, maybe some social workers and just other educated professionals to talk to, you know, when we talk to our parents and everything, right? So, like, don't go do all your shopping in Sainsbury's, right? Yeah. You know, if you need to go Iceland, go and do your, you know, your frozen food in Iceland.
Yeah.
Or, you know, believe it or not, Waitrose. Listen, I buy my bananas from Waitrose, and bananas are cheaper in Waitrose. But you wouldn't think that, because you would think Waitrose comes under the same brand as like M&S.
Yeah, that's how I used to think, bruv.
You know where I'm coming from, right? Yeah. So it's about like budgeting and going where you can make it cheaper.
100.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was very snobbish for like years. When people were telling me about Lidl and Aldi, I was like, what?
And
Later.
you know
I'm
Lidl and Aldi, Lidl and Aldi now, bruv. Lidl and Aldi's a shit, bruv.
Well, I agree to disagree. You know what I mean? The drinks are okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the popcorn as well, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Popcorn slaps.
The bakery's banging.
Nah, the croissant, bro.
It's banging.
Oi.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
The popcorn slaps.
Yeah.
It slaps.
Yeah,
It slaps, bro.
But now, it's important to, like, you know, and this is another thing as well. There are some parents who maybe cannot afford the bus or have the transportation to go around and shop and circulate to make it cheaper for them. Do you know what I mean?
Bro,
so
petrol, I'm not gonna lie, I think 1 month I spent over like £200, you know, on petrol. But no, it's a big issue.
Let me ask you another question as well, right? Yeah, because this is a question I've always wanted to know, and I think I'm not the only person. Now, thankfully I drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah. But bruv, for years and years I used to take the train. Every year, they're rising the price.
Yeah.
When's it gonna stop?
No, it's true.
No, seriously.
It's true.
If you think about the last 10, 15 years, every year, without fail.
Nah, it goes up in it. Like, nah, it does.
So you know this January, you know it's going up again, innit?
Yeah, it is.
Would you swear it down, brother?
Bro,
It's the boss.
But it doesn't matter whether it's bus or train. It's always going up.
Everything's going up.
So I just want to know, what are we doing? Like,
bro, I don't
it's
know what we're doing.
always going up.
And the thing is, even when you have reserves, bro, sometimes you dip into your reserves and it's like, nah, but you got no choice.
Right, an overhead train. Oh my God, don't even talk about overhead train. I mean, okay, I'll get it now and then because I have to, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's daylight robbery.
No, it is.
No. It's daylight robbery.
No, it is.
Do you know what I mean? Right, yeah. And you know, right, yeah, this is where they're making billions, maybe up to like $1 billion that they're making in transportation in this country, right, yeah. But at some point, it's like something's got to give because how, like, these university students that need to, like, you know, go back and forth
and
even uni fees, it's getting a joke now, bro.
Nah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean?
So, bro, I don't know what the way out, honestly, bro, I don't know what the way out is, you know. But like I said, I'm really, really, really worried.
I'm worried
for our sector. I'm not worried for everybody.
I'm worried for everybody, bruv. Everybody.
I'm worried for everybody, but bruv, the public sector, I don't know, bruv. I don't know how we're gonna this winter. I don't know how we're gonna cope.
Well, you know, we spoke about, you know, as we know, there's a new prime minister now, and one of the things that she did say that she's going to be taken care of straight away within the next couple of weeks is energy, gas, and
People
electric.
don't think it's enough though. People don't think what Liz Truss is doing is nothing, innit?
Yeah, but bro,
We need to wait. We need to wait and see. But
one thing I'll give her, as I said before, she's only just started the job, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, due to the unfortunate passing of the Queen, she hasn't been able to obviously implement anything, right?
She has to
so one of the things I'm not going to do, I'm not going to be bad mouthing anybody or anything like that. But we can only give her a chance and just wait what's going to see.
Yeah.
But I do know within the next couple of weeks there is an announcement that's going to be made regarding December. I don't know whether you saw that as well.
Yeah. And the new Chancellor, Kwesi Kwarteng, and budget and everything.
So all we can do is just wait and see, man. But like yourself, brother, I'm concerned, and as I said before, we work with vulnerable families and young people.
How do you think you're gonna? How do you think you're gonna manage? Because I know the pressure. How do you think education's gonna manage?
All right, well,
because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be now we're in a new term. It's gonna be even tougher than what we're even saying.
Listen, let me tell you something, right? Yeah, I've had parents that have said to me, right? Yeah, they couldn't buy like a week's worth, no, 3 days worth of food because they had to buy they had to go into that money to buy their child 2 shirts for school.
Yeah, I know.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that child is maybe not getting the right amount of food to eat because mum had to buy 2 shirts and go into the shopping money of next week because it's got expensive now, bro.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
I mean, do you know, this is where to a degree our professional skills come into place. So example, okay, right, yeah. I like to do research, okay, right, yeah. And also, I like to be connected with a lot of charities, right, yeah. And there are a lot of charities out there that do help vulnerable families, okay,
they do,
right, yeah. And there are I'm not going to mention any names, and I think one of the things that maybe we should decide, I don't know, is maybe at some point, we can make a decision, is maybe have on screen some of the charities that we work with, and maybe ask some of the charities, is it okay if we have...
Yeah, we need to, because there's a lot of charities that we know that can be out there to support families that we're working with, honestly.
Exactly, because I know a lot as well. I mean, like Bernardo's, right, yeah?
Yeah.
They're fantastic, right,
Battle Trust.
Right. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Glasspool Charity.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Family
St.
Action.
St. Giles Trust as well.
Yeah, St. Giles Trust.
Like, so there's a lot of charities.
There's loads.
And also they help families, and they also help with vouchers as well. Do you know what I mean, right,
yeah?
So it's about, as a social worker, teachers, practitioners, it's about utilizing your skills as a professional and doing the research. Oh, by the way, I know a company that can get you blah 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 blah, or
helping the families. And I think also it's important as well as social workers. Like I said, I keep saying it because I think it's important that when we do get referrals, and it's to do, say for example, somebody might go and say it's to do with neglect, that we got to take into consideration the cost of living crisis.
Yeah, we
need to take into consideration the overlap between the crisis, difficulty in finding lack of resource. We have to. I think we need to. I'm not saying don't omit the safeguarding element, but where there's as you said, element of empathy and understanding, we've got to take that into our practice.
Now, bro, this is another thing that we need to discuss. You mentioned it earlier, right? Yeah. There's a lot of families that I've worked with, okay, yeah? And this is actually a very general scenario. There's a lot of families that are in debt with their rent. They're behind with their rent.
And could be homeless.
Right. But what it is now, their wages is not enough to look after their children.
And pay the rent.
And
pay utility bills.
Right. Which is now in turn making them behind with their rent. But this is where empathy comes into it. And this is where I understand it in terms of Pro 2, but at the same time as well, it's a bit harsh. There's a lot of local authorities that if you don't pay your rent, see you later, bye-bye, get out.
Yeah.
There's no empathy, and that's wrong, and I'm not trying to say all local authorities and everything, but there have been scenarios where I've worked with families and the mum is got no money and she's been told to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Do you know? Now, once again,
then it becomes a child protection. Then they refer it to us, children's services.
So as I said before, right, yeah, these are scenarios and these are situations where, the government, it would be nice, for the government to look at that because, as you said before, it then turns into poverty, famine, child protection, social care get involved. And it's worrying, bruv.
And social care, and bruv, we're going to get to a point by social care it is really going to struggle with the competing demands.
Yeah.
And because you've got more social workers leaving as well, what's going to happen is that, like I said earlier, you're going to have more families, who are going to be unallocated and children who are unallocated, and it means that they're not going to get the support or service that they need.
Yeah.
And if there are genuine safeguarding issues, that's going to be missed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying to you?
But you know what, right? Yeah, because one thing about me, right? Yeah, and I like to talk on behalf of, both of us as well. I have a mentality where I don't give up, right? Yeah, and I have a mentality where we will overcome.
Yeah.
Okay, right? Yeah, and it's very easy to have a victim mentality and be down in the dumps and everything like that. I mean, what I would say is that this isn't going to be forever. It will eventually.
We'll come out of it, hopefully.
Yeah, no, it's not. Hopefully, we will come out of it, right? Yeah, but I think it's very important as professionals that we always, give the families hope and just assure them that we're there to support them. Do you know what I mean?
We need to,
because they also need that. Like, I've got your back. I'm going to be there. We can't always promise everything that we want to give them.
But that's right.
But at least
I think social workers in the cost of living crisis don't overpromise.
Yeah, be careful.
Be careful. Yeah. Don't overpromise and say, "Oh, I'm going to eat £500." Don't. Let families know what we're going to try and help them to get.
Yeah.
But we've got to be honest and say, you know what, actually, I want to try and get you this voucher or try and get you this source of funding. Yeah. I will let you know of the outcome because because it's not good for us to set families up to fail, to go and say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get this for you."
Sorry, Nana.
And it's not.
Can you repeat that again? Because I think that's very. I think that's
very important. So what I'm saying is,
very,
for social workers,
yeah.
is that one thing we can't be doing is don't go and overpromise families during this crisis to go and say, "Oh yeah, you know what, we're gonna get you this funding," and your manager's gonna come and say to you, "We can't do that because we ain't got the budget to." We got to be clear and say to families that, look, I'm going to attempt or try and get you this. I'm going to let you know the outcome of this. I'll let you know the timescales because it's not good for us to set families up to fail. Because ultimately, if they're in a place whereby they need social care support and then we're saying to them, we're going to get you this, but we can't, they're not going to trust us. They're going to feel that we're lying. So social workers, don't overpromise. Do the attempts. Let them know what you're going to do. If you're going to ask for funding, say, look, I need to speak to my manager and I'm going to ask for this. And I'll let you know the outcome. But don't say I'm going to get it because you might not be able to because you're going to be limited.
And that goes for any teacher, teaching assistant. You could be a practitioner working for a charity. You could be a YOS worker. You could be some form of, I don't know, mentor in an education professional or a school. Because Nana is absolutely right, The minute you say, I'm going to get you £500 or I'm going to get you £200 worth of Sainsbury's vouchers. That's it. In their mind,
you're going to deliver. You're going to do it.
You've got to deliver now.
And that's another thing. That goes back to what we're saying last episode. I feel as though social workers don't overpromise. Yeah. I think don't overpromise what you can't deliver. If you can do it, do it. But be realistic and honest with family because it's tough times right now. We can't be letting families down by telling them we're going to do it and we can't do it and we know we're limited. It's not fair.
And do you know what, right? I think this is where the difference between a teacher and a social worker comes into play. Because with a teacher, a teacher is there to teach and educate, right? So their job role and their profession is more or less, we know what you got to do. With a social worker now, there's a different variation. Oh, my social worker, she's going to get me some clothes money. Oh, my social worker, she's getting me £60 of Sainsbury's vouchers. Oh, my social worker, they're going to help me try and move. So there's a different variation.
Yeah, there is,
So what it is now, when you've got education, teaching, and a social worker, the narrative and the job role is slightly different.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know what to expect from a teacher because they're there to educate your child. But then at the same time as well, no, they're not just there to educate your child. They're there to nurture your child, look after your child, right? Make sure that they're being looked after and well kept and, they're not being harmed, whatnot as well. So, but the narrative should be, to always, as professional, to be mindful of what we can promise and what we can't. Because at the same time as well, you also put yourself under pressure.
You do.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, particularly in this crisis.
It's no joke, man.
You do.
But yeah, my brother, it's worrying.
It is worrying.
I'm being honest with you. I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm worried.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm worried.
I'm worried, and yeah, I think referrals, case everything's gonna skyrocket, you know. But yeah. Now, but bruv, it's been a good episode. I think we needed to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that people try and take what they can.
Yeah.
We will. What I think, Robert, you're right. We will advertise and put out, you know, charities.
Yeah, on screen.
On screen.
I think it's important.
You know, who can actually help out and support.
Yeah.
It's important that we do all those things, innit? But guys, thank you so much. Like I said, continue to follow us and show your support. Give us the feedback. And yeah, man.
Hey, and don't forget,
Yep. Like, subscribe. TikTok, follow us on TikTok.
Everything.
Instagram.
All the above.
YouTube. You know, follow us on all the platforms, man.
Click.
Yeah. And the channel, subscribe, please.
That's it. Have a great evening. Have a great afternoon.
Take care, guys. Yeah.
Enjoy dinner, lunch.
Stay blessed.
See you next week. Take care. Yeah.
Take care, guys. Cool.